Welcome to the Golden Seams, where we, Gabe and Michae, your hosts, invite you to join us on a transformative journey of self-discovery and personal growth. Our podcast is all about helping you uncover your authentic self, find your true calling, and create prosperity in alignment with your deepest values and aspirations.
We're embarking on the realm of self-love and self-worth, guided by the illuminating wisdom of Brené Brown's The Gifts of Imperfection. Prepare to challenge societal expectations and embrace your authentic self as we delve into this groundbreaking work that has touched millions of lives worldwide. Through Brown's expertise for wholehearted living, we'll discover together how to let go of who we think we're supposed to be and embrace who we truly are.
The Golden Seams Mastermind Memoir segment features extraordinary guests who will help us explore the depths of self-discovery and personal growth. Prepare to be captivated by Joe, an extraordinary psychic medium hailing from the UK and founder of the Spiritual Gateway. Joe's unique blend of talents as a past life regression specialist, intuitive tarot reader, quantum jumping expert, and paranormal investigator promises to take our exploration of self-discovery to otherworldly heights. In a truly unique offering, Joe will introduce us to the fascinating world of quantum jumping. She'll explain how delving into our soul's various journeys can shed light on our current experiences, helping us overcome deep-seated patterns, advance our personal growth, and amplifying our unique gifts. This extraordinary exploration offers profound insights into tapping into our already developed skills, empowering us to embrace self-love and cultivate self-worth in our present lives. By understanding the wisdom gleaned from alternate experiences that vibrationally match our individual souls, we'll discover how to live more wholeheartedly, accepting our authentic selves with compassion and courage. Join us for this unforgettable journey of self-discovery, where the keys to living a more fulfilling life may lie in the secrets of our soul's journeys, guiding us towards a future brimming with self-acceptance and purpose.
Also joining us as we explore self-love and wholehearted living from Hong Kong is Tanya, creator of the Compassionate Couch, a transformative hypnotherapist and wellness facilitator. Tanya will illuminate the path to manifesting our authentic selves through the art of vision or mood boards. Tanya's passion for helping others overcome life's challenges shines through in her approach as she guides us in creating powerful visual representations of our deepest aspirations and self-worth. She'll demonstrate how crafting unique, powerful, and effective vision or mood boards can serve as a tangible reminder of our inherent value and the dreams we dare to pursue. Through this creative process, we'll learn to embrace our imperfections, visualize our potential, and courageously step into a future aligned with our true selves. Tanya's experience will help us transform abstract concepts of self-love into concrete, daily practices that nurture our journey towards wholehearted living. Tanya helps individuals achieve balance, healing, and holistic well-being by shifting limiting beliefs, breaking negative patterns, and creating personalized transformational roadmaps. An international holistic wellness practitioner, Tanya leads workshops on a diverse range of subjects including vision boarding, manifestation, gratitude, stress management, brain health, and personal empowerment. Currently traveling through Asia, she hosts wellness workshops and hypno-meditation classes to inspire balance, health, and transformation. Tanya's work is deeply rooted in the mind-body connection, empowering others to unlock their potential and live with purpose and joy.
Each of these inspiring women will offer unique perspectives on self-exploration and personal development, providing you with practical tools to enhance your journey of self-discovery and growth.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of The Golden Seams and exploring self-love and wholehearted living, foundations to creating a prosperous life you love and can live. Practicing courage, compassion, and connection in our daily lives is how we cultivate worthiness. The key word is practice. Mary Daly, a theologian, writes, "Courage is like, it's a habitus, a habit, a virtue. You get it by courageous acts. It's like you learn to swim by swimming. You learn courage by couraging. The same is true for compassion and connection. We invite compassion into our lives when we act compassionately toward ourselves and others, and we feel connected in our lives when we reach out and connect." That's from Brené Brown's The Gifts of Imperfection. courage, compassion, and connection. Gabe and I are going to be talking about shame, blame, fear, courage, compassion, and connection in this episode. Brené starts with a story about how she was called in to speak to a bunch of parents at a school, and the parents were required to be there, and they were very upset and angry. She wasn't given the full story on why she had been asked to come in and speak. Naturally, was getting a read on the room and also hearing the introduction of the principal. It wasn't making sense with where she was coming from. Instead of asking questions because she was unsure of what was going on, the parents started being disruptive, difficult in responding back to her as she was speaking. She says, when someone is being disruptive, you really only have two choices: ignore them or take a break so that you can privately confront them about their inappropriate behavior. I was so knocked off my game by this weird experience that I did the very worst thing possible. I tried to impress him, and she's specifically talking about this parent in the audience who is making all these noises and disrupting things deliberately. She says, trying to co-opt or win over someone like that guy is always a mistake because it means trading in your authenticity for approval. You stop believing in your worthiness and start hustling for it. Where she uses hustling, the word that I always use is chasing. If you're chasing, you're losing.
I had never thought about it in the sense of chasing. When she was describing this, I thought about fight, flight, freeze, and fawn, coping mechanisms we have to deal with traumatic or stressful situations. It's interesting because it wasn't until later in my life that I learned about the fawn response. It's so conditioned to be treated positively and encouraged in people because it helps create malleable environments where people cooperate beyond their comfort and their limits. It's like losing twice, because then you lose the experience of comfort and safety in yourself and getting to experience yourself actually. It makes me wonder sometimes if this kind of behavior, being encouraged and rewarded socially through certain types of conditioning for avoiding conflict or confrontation, doesn't contribute to our own disconnect from ourselves and getting to know ourselves and what we do like and don't like, and start creating this kind of callous layer of coping and normalizing that as what life should be.
Masks.
Masks.
Everything's fine. It's fine. I'm fine. You're fine. We're all fine. And the house is burning down to ash. But I'm fine. You're fine too, right?
This is fine.
We're fine.
Yeah.
How are you? Fine.
Just fine.
Me too.
Keep calm, carry on.
How do you know when you're feeling shame? Shame reactions. What Brené says to do when you're experiencing shame and why. She says, when the shame winds are whipping all around me, it's almost impossible to hold on to any perspective or to recall anything good about myself. I went right into the bad self-talk. Oh God, I'm such an idiot. Why did I do that? I can recognize shame when it's happening. First, I know my physical symptoms of shame: the dry mouth, time slowing down, tunnel vision, hot face, racing heart. Playing the painful slow motion reel over and over in my head is a warning sign. The very best thing to do when this is happening feels totally counterintuitive. Practice courage and reach out. We have to own our story and share it with someone who has earned the right to hear it, someone whom we can count on to respond with compassion. We need courage, compassion, and connection ASAP.
Brené goes on. Shame hates it when we reach out and tell our story. It hates having words wrapped around it. It can't survive being shared. Shame loves secrecy. The most dangerous thing to do after a shaming experience is hide or bury our story. When we bury our story, the shame metastasizes.
Brené tells us we can't just call anyone. There are only a handful of people whom you can count on to practice compassion when you're in the dark shame place. If we share our shame story with the wrong person, they can easily become one more piece of flying debris in an already dangerous storm. She gives us a list of what we want to avoid in these interactions.
The person who responds with sympathy versus empathy. I feel sorry for you. Rather than empathy, I get it, I feel with you, and I've been there. The subtext of this response is distance. These things don't happen to me or to people like me.
I have someone in my life who I trusted, who I've known my entire life. I went to confide in them multiple times. This was exactly how they treated me. Very much so, these things don't happen to me or to people like me. I grew up and got older, and I realized that this was about that person's shame. How much immensely hidden shame that person has and denies having. But it took me many, many, many years of getting kicked in the teeth. Every time that I would confide in this person, they would shame me. This person comes across very loving, very nice. Sometimes we confuse nice with good, and there is absolutely no correlation.
So big. That took me a long time to learn. That was one of the biggest blinders that I needed to take off to actually start unveiling and seeing society. The measurement of nice can be so easily manipulated depending on resources and power and what kind of image you can present. It can be easily utilized for ulterior motives, conscious or not, coping or not.
Yes, I do not believe this person realizes that they are completely immersed in shame, but I realized it and thought, oh, when something happens to me that someone else should be ashamed of, you feel shame because you did terrible things to me too. It was igniting this in this individual, and they're not even aware of it. Very interesting, the dynamics and how they work out.
Personified it really well. Shame loves secrecy.
The greatest way to cut through shame is with the sword of truth. When you tell the
Yes.
truth, it lands. This bit about, well, that's your truth, that is just putting wallpaper over paint. Truth is truth. It lands. It sticks and it lands.
And it's felt.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Reality is real, and it doesn't care what we think.
Yes.
That's not to say we can't have our own. We're not free to choose how to experience reality, but there are fundamental truths that no matter how much we believe in or against something, try breathing underwater. Put your hand in a fire. You can believe whatever you want, but there are some
Yes.
fundamental truths to this realm that we do have to come to terms with. It is very beneficial to identify and remove ourselves from echo chambers that keep us believing that we can breathe underwater. If we want to progress and grow in meaningful ways that we can build on and have structure around, it has to have its roots in reality.
Very much so.
The second thing Brené tells us to avoid when talking about shame is judgment, or the idea that you should feel shame. Judgment is the person who hears the story and actually feels shame for you. The friend gasps and confirms how horrified you should be. Then there's an awkward silence. Then you have to make this person feel better by convincing them that you're not a terrible person.
That's always a good one.
My favorite.
Especially when you've stood up for yourself in a situation, you get the response back of, we don't do that.
And the dog pile that comes if you're in the right setting.
Why can't you just let it go? You're the problem because you said we shouldn't be telling jokes like that. Why do you always have to make yourself the problem? Just let it go. Does that sound like anybody? Completely mimicking situations that I know we've all experienced.
How little value the experience of the human heart has in our current culture and society. That's somebody spiking down, somebody volleying an invitation to discuss vulnerably about something gets shot down.
Very much so. The next one that Brené shares with us is disappointment. You've let me down. The person who needs you to be the pillar of worthiness and authenticity, this person can't help you because they are too disappointed in your imperfections. You've let this person down. So when you're trying to help someone and they want to stay in a place of blame instead of responsibility, you cannot help that person. This is actually why I vet people, and if I'm working with them and find that they are more interested in not taking responsibility because I cannot help them move forward until they're willing to do that, I will release them as a client. Not because I don't want to help them, but because the initiating point for having the life you want is you taking responsibility. And I know this firsthand from myself, and I have been on both sides of this. So I'm saying that not in condemnation, but in thorough and complete experience and understanding having been where I have been the blamer previously, and now where I'm on the side of if I take responsibility for everything, I have so much more sovereignty and so many more choices.
It reminds me of relationship dynamics. We have relationships in our lives where somebody's feeling this way. They start projecting the amount of worthiness or your value onto you with this external condition that they're setting that's forever changing depending on their ability to show up to it or not. If we're in people pleaser mode, a trap. Infinite going reciprocal. One person's taking, the other's giving in the coping way, unconscious, and then it traps us in those mutually destructive, I would say.
Yes, it's about ownership. That's what it's about. I'm talking about a repetitive pattern in individuals who cannot look at themselves. We've all done it. Believe me, we've all done it.
Oh yeah, I got a pretty good track record.
Me too.
Adding on some tallies.
But that's how come I can call it out. Because I know what it looks like, and I also know what it feels like, but I also know what's on the other side of it if you do take responsibility. But I will say that shift stinks. But when you get on the other side, it's, oh, this is where it's at.
Yeah, it's empowering. It's so empowering. The chasing energy you were talking about, if we're chasing, we're avoiding accountability. We're also evading. Because if we want to take the credit, we have to stand in the same spot where the blame lands. And that's the truth. If you want to take any sort of credit for what you do, you are in the same seat that the blame falls on. So there's no picking and choosing. So many ways we've been conditioned to believe otherwise, blaming God knows how many things, something to make us not realize how powerful we are.
Yes, and I don't want to participate in that anymore. I shut that down. The next one that Brené offers is, this feels terrible. Who can we blame? You? Discharging discomfort with blame. Because shame is visceral and contagious, we can feel it for other people. This person immediately needs to discharge the discomfort and vulnerability of the situation by blaming and scolding. They may blame or scold you, or they may look for someone else to take the fall. Parents can fall easily into this when a child shares a shaming story with them. For example, how did you let this happen? This goes back to what we were just discussing.
The next thing Brené says to avoid is minimizing or avoiding. Let's make this go away. We minimize and avoid when we want hard feelings to go away. Out of their own discomfort, this person refuses to acknowledge that you're in pain and or that you're hurting.
I do this. I have done this. I'm trying to ease their pain. I have done this, and I still do this.
Oh no, does fixing, does this count? Oh no.
Me too. Gabe, you're a total fixer.
I know, but then like I'm reading it in this context. Who am I to decide what's broken? That first line, we minimize and avoid when we want hard feelings to go away. It's like, stop.
Totally
no.
me.
Yep. Wow.
I don't want to feel that through you, around you, or with you, so let's make it go away.
Are you ready?
Let me roll up my sleeves and get in there.
Why marinate in it?
Why marinate in it when we can throw it out together?
I'll help you.
Do you see the hypocrisy? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're welcome, everyone.
Elevate your journey of self-discovery and personal growth with our exclusive Patreon offerings at the Golden Seams. Our carefully crafted content includes powerful tools designed to support you on your path to wholehearted living. Immerse yourself in our transformative deep meditation and subliminal audio sessions, infused with Solfeggio frequencies and binaural beats to naturally integrate and foster authentic living. Complement your practice with our custom-designed mandala, a visual manifestation tool to reinforce your intentions. All of our offerings are Reiki infused by Michae, a Reiki master, providing an extra layer of energetic support. This synergistic combination of audios and visual aids works with your subconscious mind to accelerate growth, amplify manifestation abilities, and effortlessly integrate self-love and wholehearted living into every aspect of your life. Join us on Patreon to unlock these powerful resources and step into your true, magnificent self.
The next one that Brené shares with us is comparing, competing. If you think that's bad, this person confuses connecting with you over shared experiences with the opportunity to one-up you, such as, that's nothing, listen to what happened to me one time. I do share in the empathetic sense of you're not alone. I am reining this in now. It's not comparing or competing. That's not my intention. But again, we already know intention really doesn't matter. So here we are.
Melissa's book, when they were talking about the comparing or sharing in conversations to connect, I was devastated because that is a great deal of how I communicate. Exactly what you're saying. Make that empathetic connecting point. No, I get you.
Mm-hmm.
And it made me so self-conscious when I read the last book, and now it's coming up again. Oh God.
Yep.
This is what they think.
Mm-hmm.
This is what people see me like.
I am trying to create a greater awareness for myself so that I can hold that space for other people so that they can heal.
Yeah.
That's my new intention.
Intentions. All right. Brené says, speaking truth to power. Don't upset people or make them uncomfortable. You hold someone accountable for language, comments, or behavior that marginalizes or dehumanizes others, and it causes discomfort or conflict. When this person observes this or hears your story of what happened, they respond with, I can't believe you said that to your boss, or I can't believe you went there, or you can't talk about that stuff with people, versus an empathetic response of that must have been hard. You were really brave, or it's hard to stand up for what you believe in. Thank you.
That must have been hard. You were really brave. It's hard to stand up for what you believe in. Thank you. That's beautiful. That is so beautiful. And then silence. Let that sit.
A little trick I use to identify power is if I'm in a situation where a feeling will come up, one reason or another, I recognize that I can't talk about it, and I can't talk about that I can't talk about it. And then those are the two signs where I know I'm in an abusive power dynamic. If those two feelings arise, think about the times in history where those two energies dominated and created a society and what they did with that power they wield. Disguising itself in our society, those are the two telltale signs. Can't talk about it, and you can't talk about that you can't talk about it. Because usually the implication is that there's somebody in there who will punish you for acknowledging the truth. So I think it's awesome to acknowledge and encourage people to feel safe speaking the truth, because the truth will set you free. It's an original quote from me.
I can fix this, and I can fix you. The next one that Brené shares with us is advice giving, problem solving. Sometimes when we see pain, our first instinct is to fix it. This is especially true for those of us whom people seek out to help with problem solving. In these instances, rather than listen and be with people and their emotions, we start fixing. I do that, and I am working on this.
I thought pretty good of myself when I was offering help.
Where I'm the worst at this with, flipping from when I'm working with my clients or when I was working in situations, and then maybe my daughter comes to me with a need and starts to discuss it, and all she needs me to do is listen. And instead, I go into problem solving mode because that is what I do, and I'm good at that. However, people need to be heard. I'm good at hearing my clients, recognizing their needs, but when it comes to my child, I want to shut the pain down, shut the situation down. I want to make everything okay. I want to put a Band-Aid on it, and I want to tie it up with a little bow and tell her that the sun is going to shine and everything's going to be fine. Oh, look over here. Let's go have an ice cream. I literally have this running in my head.
I have the fixing response too.
The bottom line with this is sharing with someone safe and completely trustworthy only. This takes me back to the Charlie Mackesy discussions that we had. We want to confide in and be vulnerable with trustworthy, safe, compassionate people in our lives. Use Brené's guidelines to recognize those who are not, or what she calls empathy misses, which we all do. She says, of course we're all capable of being these friends, especially if someone tells us a story that gets right up in our own shame grill. We're human, imperfect, and vulnerable. It's hard to practice compassion when we're struggling with our authenticity or when our own worthiness is off balance.
Enjoyed what you heard? There's more to explore. For full-length discussions, exclusive content, and easy-to-use tools designed to effortlessly support your authentic transformation, subscribe to our Patreon, The Golden Seams. Don't miss out. We welcome you to join our growing community and dive deeper into the topics you love. Experience The Golden Seams on Patreon and unlock the complete experience for yourself now. Thank you for joining us on the Golden Seams podcast.
We're truly grateful for your presence and participation in this journey of self-discovery and personal growth. Remember, your path to authenticity and prosperity is unique, and we're honored to be a part of it. If you found value in today's episode, we invite you to like, subscribe, and share it with others who might benefit. Until next time, embrace your imperfections and let them be your greatest gifts.
This is Gabe and Michae signing off from the Golden Seams. May you discover the courage to be vulnerable, the compassion to love yourself, and the wisdom to live wholeheartedly. May your path be golden as you find the strength to mend and beautify the broken parts of your life, weaving golden threads through the fabric of your authentic self, just like the art of kintsugi. We'll see you in our next episode.